So today we're going to go over Remarcable Spool Configurator. What this is meant to do is just to help you create spools for wire pulls, organize them in much easier, manageable ways. Allows you to create lists from the spools, allows you to send to the vendors so that they're pre-made for you. And then also this is also a new way we're going to possibly do wire harnesses down in the prefab shop. So understanding how the spool configurator works is going to be pretty key to understanding that process in the future. So to begin, you're just going to start on any one of the projects that you're working on and stay in the material tab here. At the top, you'll see the little spool configurator button. Once you click on that, it's going to bring you to a new pop-up window. It's going to ask you what type of runs you want to create, either the THHN parallel runs or other parallel runs. Majority of the time, you're going to start up here in the top, and you can see this little plus icon here. All it's just saying is what spool are you working on to begin with. So clicking on this one, it's going to be copper THHN. You can choose the different type of material for your conductor here. We're going to keep it on copper for right now. This is going to be the outermost layer on the spool. For your first pull, you can add stack pulls on top of it. So the manufacturer will just give you one spool with all the stack pulls on it. It'll be able to tell cable length, number of cables, pulling heads. And a lot of this will automatically populate into the cart for you, right? So this is making sure that when you order your wire, you're also getting all the extra little materials that you need for the wire pull. Additionally, the spool supplier down here, you can do just wire and cable spooling options. Choose what different type of cart or spool that you're looking for, along with tag, or you can just choose the Southwire reels. And these will be Southwire supplied wheels. There's also the Simpool reels. These are the ones that we've been seeing from Southwire that allow you to roll it and pull off on a much easier way. So we're going to use one of these Southwire ones. It also gives you the dimensions of the spool itself, so you can make sure that's going to fit into your doorways or into the location that you're looking for. This spool tag is what you want to label the entire spool that's going to come in. So it's this entire unit with every single layer on the spool. So we're just going to call this main electric room. Spell. And then we're going to start creating our stack pull. So obviously you can see outermost layer on the spool. What's that first layer going to be? I can choose an overall length for my wire. It's going to be in feet. The number of parallel runs that you would like, it goes all the way to 30. It's only a drop down, so you can't type more than that, but I'm just going to choose 4. And you can see it automatically populated 4 lines with me inside or with 480 volt colors. You can choose one of the common color associations over here to quickly change out the color of the wire. So I choose the black, white, red. It's going to turn into 208 colors. This is going to turn into 480, and then these are just straight black conductor colors. That doesn't mean that you can't go in here and customize the colors as you want. So if you really want to create a customized wire harness, you're able to choose down here and choose green with a yellow stripe, white with a red stripe, whatever you need to do here. Or if you just want to go back, you can click the common colors and it'll go back to your standard. If you go past the 4 conductors, let's say we go to 7, it's going to start putting in the neutrals with it, with the stripe as well. I think it goes down to about 9. That's when it will stop doing that. So if you go to your 8, it won't do it. At 7, it will actually show your stripe neutrals with your conductor colors. I'm just going to go back down to 4, make it easy. And this layer tag is what you want to name it. So generally, we're going to assume that this is going to be a feeder for a panel. This is going to be HP 41 for my layer tag. I do want to include pulling heads for this layer. So what's going to end up happening is then I'm going to come down here and choose a size. So let's go with just number 2s. It automatically fills out all the conductors to the same size because it's thinking it's a parallel run because it's on the same spool, but that doesn't mean you can't come down here and change the actual conductor. If I do also want to add in another wire, so let's just say we want to add in the 5th for the ground, I can easily just come in here and add the ground back in. The wire tag also allows you to individually tag each conductor. So if you wanted to tag this as a, it will tag them all, or I can come in individually and tag them. This allows you on smaller branch pulls to be able to label each individual conductor for each individual circuit if you would like. Once you're happy with your configuration here and you want to add another stack pull on top of it, you can just add another stack pull here. As you can see, it's going to add it to the bottom. If you look over here, you can always edit this configuration. It has just the wire size on here, but you can change the labeling and tags. If you need to redo it because of the wire size, you're going to have to delete it or edit it in the cart. I can also move this stack up and down once I have another reel here. So I'm just going to add another one in for 100. I'm going to choose 5. And we're going to call this one BP21. Or let's do HP21. I'm going to turn this into 2 light colors. This one's going to be number 8 with the 10. And then my wire tag is just going to be HP21. It's going to be ground. And once I hit add stack pull again, you can see that this one's up here. And now I can move the stack layers up and down to configure however you're going to want to pull it. Once you're all set with the overall spool itself, it's going to tell you roughly how much that spool is going to weigh and how much overall linear feet you have for wire here. Number of spools is how many you want this to be broken up into. But more or less, once you're done with your configuration, you're just going to hit add to cart. Or if you want to add a second spool from right here, you just hit plus spool. It should load up the next screen here. But I'm going to add up to cart here. And you can see each individual wire has already been laid into your cart. Has a wire tag, a layer tag, and the spool tag on it. And this allows you to organize all your information to your vendor easily. This is also a wire pull list for you. So you can actually use this inside of Remarcable as a pulling list. It also chooses all the correct pulling heads that you would need. Whichever one you want to keep, you can keep, but you can always just delete out the short or long heads. Same down here. And then overall, I can save this to a list for later. So this is going to be main electric from pull list. And my list I have, this is my complete list here. And then when I'm done with it, I can mark it as complete. And so I know that this has been completed as a pull. I can then also just proceed to checkout and send to the supplier. Or lastly, I can always just change on the fly a specific length. So if let's say I want to change the ground length to 300 for some reason, 3000, you can go there. And you can always just add another pull by hitting the spool configurator. If you choose the checkbox here, you're able to edit comments or hit edit spool. So if I hit edit spool, it's going to bring you back up into a different looking version of this, but allows you to see this is spool 1, all the length linear feet. You can see that my ground wire here is now 300 with my edits. Gave you all your pulling wires here. And if I just want, I can just duplicate this spool again. So now you can see I have spool 2, I have spool 3. If you want to bulk edit some information from a spool, let's say you actually want to increase all the wire here because you measured it wrong or you had to increase the run. If you select multiple lines of it and then type in the number, it should edit all the additional stuff going down. Same as if you just uncheck it, and I just want to increase these by 100 for whatever reason. These will increase themselves. Same with the actual name of the tag. So this is just going to be motor A. You can also additionally add more wire to this pull if you need to. So let's say you want to add in a COM wire. You can, and this is where we're looking to possibly use this for prefab, because this will organize your pulls just like we're doing on the Excel chart, but this would allow you to add in other additional wires such as Cat6 or create different spools that way. Yep. Question, JB?
Yeah, you just show us that we can duplicate the spools. Can we save them out? Or we have to recreate them? If I like this spool one, right, for future use, can I save it out and then go back and change it? Or do I have to start from scratch every time?
Nope. So I'm just going to go back into that list.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say we're in the list here. I'm going to save this entire, not this entire one, but come down here. I'm going to remove out just spool 2 for a reason. I'm going to save that to a list. This is going to be template pull. So we have the template pull here. I'm just going to delete out the rest of these here. And I'm going to add all this to cart. You can see it kept all the information here for the spool, for the layer. And then can I hit edit spool? It's going to bring you right back to the spool up here.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And yep, and you can see it kept motor A, motor B, G, all that stuff. I believe that's about it for the spool configure. Do you guys have any or any questions? Yep, go ahead, Tom.
So in a situation where you got a really long pull and you got a pull from like a midpoint, is there a way to add pulling heads to both sides in that, or do you have to just do a side note and let the vendor know you need pulling heads on both sides?
Yeah, you could probably just add within the specific comment here, add pulling heads to both sides, if you'd like, and then just increase the quantity to 2.
All right, yeah, I wasn't sure if there was like an option to select or just add it to the comments.
I don't believe so on this one. This is just probably pulling from one side because they're giving you the I'm saying the south wire spool for this instance. But if you put in that note, it's generally just as much as you giving them a call or emailing them, like, hey, we require pulling heads on both sides.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead, Lucas.
If you were to view that as a PDF, so you can give it to somebody as their full schedule, how does that look? I know you can do it after you order it, but is there a way you can do that?
Oh, such as like within the list itself?
Yeah, say you have like 10 spools coming in, you need somebody to check all 10 spools, labels, wire sizes.
Coming in.
Right.
Yeah, so underneath, I'm actually just going to go to an order here, and I can kind of show you where that is. So let's take this one right here, the three-way switching lab. When you get it, it's just going to be individual line items like this. And on your side, this is how you should be receiving items from the field anyways, because it automatically will update and give you the count. So in your app or on the web browser, if you hit receive, field receiving, it's automatically going to pull up all that information for you, right? What has been ordered and what should show up, and that's where like this would be layer 1, spool 1, label 1. You're able to enter in autofill all. It will fill in all the information, And let's say you actually didn't get this one. Right, I actually didn't receive, like, they're missing the ground on this one. I hit save. This automatically now it tells us, hey, we've received everything, right? Receive 500, receive 500. Oh, we missed this one, right? They still owe us like a whole ground wire. This is how your team can actually make sure that you got everything you ordered. And even on the SO PDF, if you scan this here, it will bring you right to that order in Remarcable.
Thank you.
Yep. As you can see, if you go to receive more, you can see I've already received 500 of the 500, so it's green. I've received only 0 of 500. I can update autofill all. It will autofill what is required or was left of the order. So now we're clear. Good question. Awesome. So please try this out, you guys. Let me know how it works. If you have any kind of hiccups or any tips for me in the future that I can relate to the field, let me know. But thanks for joining.